Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today we're going to answer the question, why you should play as Niss in Wayfinder. Now if Wingrave, my favorite Wayfinder, was the Paladin, the Bastion, the Protector, and Advocator of Light, Niss is the opposite. Niss's family was exiled. She's a shadow dancer. She existed in the maze to escape the precursors and is seeking vengeance. She may not like the Seekers and the Wayfinders, but she will help and use her daggers to great effect. So, if you want to play as Niss and you really want to get involved with the character, think of it as an edgy assassin, right? You're aloof. You don't care. You might be a little tsundere without the liking person. You just are, you're like AT&T with knives. You just reach out and tag someone. That's how that works. But let's take a look at our abilities, right? So, abilities. Shadow Step. Dash in a line, dealing damage along the way. After a short delay, a Gloom Clone will dash from your initial position to you, dealing damage to enemies who pass through. Okay, simple enough. So, slash, and then follow-up slash. Umbral Aura. Niss is empowered by Umbral magic, causing her next 3 dodges to pierce a nearby enemy with shadow. Nearby allies are also empowered for 1 dodge. That's got a pretty generous range on it. I'll show you later how generous that range is, but it works, and it's a really good thing. Next, Vengeful Shade. Briefly become immune to attacks while damaging enemies around Niss. Follow up with a lighter heavy attack, causing Niss to slam back down, further damaging enemies. Following up with a dodge causes Niss to backflip away. Now, the cool part about this is, again, utility. As you'll notice, Niss is a bit of a glass cannon, where Wingrave was a very sturdy boy. Niss is not so robust. So a lot of her abilities involve great movement. And with this next one, Gloom Shroud, for 10 seconds, Shadow Step can be used at no cost. That means you can spam it. Normally, you start with two charges of Shadow Step, right? So starting with 2 charges, and they recharge fairly fast. I don't know the exact time, but I've never felt like it's been too long. You can literally spam that and just go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. In fact, I'll do that on bosses from time to time, and if I get lucky with the enemy I choose when we go into the gameplay demonstration, you can see that. So she's very mobile, but she's not very good at sustain, so keep that in mind. Glass Cannon build. She'll absolutely damage with those daggers or a melee weapon. Doesn't feel that great with guns, but, it's personal preference on that. Her weapon ability, Steel Volley, at least the one I have equipped with the daggers, spins and throws daggers in a large radius around the Wayfinder. And, of course, passive ability, Lingering Shadow. After dodging, gain attack power for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. With the amount of dodging you have to do, that buff's basically always up. In fact, you may have more than 1 stack most times. We go to our passives. Now, her archetype is the Arcanist at this point. Now, they may include different archetypes later, but for now, the archetype I have as Niss is the Arcanist. And defeating enemies has a chance to spawn an Innervation Orb, which can be consumed by the Arcanist or their allies to increase ability power. Very good. Super awesome as Wingrave. I love having a Niss because then that means my Righteous Smite heals more, and I love it. And then, of course, Blink. Blink is the best. This is so amazing. Arcanists benefit from the largest invincibility window when dodging attacks with their Blink. Also, they travel an increased distance. So that means it's easier to get out of things. You have more grace period when it comes to your iframes. That is one of the best things ever. And earlier today, I was playing with a bunch of randoms, and people just wouldn't dodge. They just wouldn't dodge. You know what? Insert the meme. Go.
Why didn't you dodge?
Now that we've seen the meme, you gotta understand, dodging is essential in this game. It's absolutely essential. And of course, you have passives and aspect purpose things. You unlock those a little later. I'm only level 9 with Niss. So, before I did this video, I wanted to unlock all of her abilities, and I can there. So Niss, and then we'll take one more look here while I've got the character. Let's take a look at the weapon, dual daggers. Here we go. So look at the weapon abilities. So Twin Strikers, of course, the weapon class. I can perform a parry. I can perform flourishes, and those actually grant me iframes when I do it. So what I'm doing is I actually get more. I also build up damage faster. So seeing as how your first hit with Niss, you'll notice this in the combo counter. It builds up 2-3 hits very quickly. It's awesome. Damage starts low but ramps up greatly over the course of dagger combo. And of course, the blade dance mechanic. Build flourish points with every 4th consecutive melee attack. So you basically by tapping your heavy input. So in this case, for my controller Y, I can perform a weak spin, moderate damage. Powerful Direct refreshes all weapon power buffs, and then of course Powerful Area Attack refreshes all weapon buffs, grants a small window. So the more points you spend, the better it is, and it's iterative. It builds on itself, so you'll have a lot of fun there. Of course, performing weapon ability will also trigger Blade Dance, causing all weapon attacks to hit twice for a short period of time. So that's super, super awesome. And of course, each flourish point spent increases the Blade Dance meter. So, melee attack with her, melee attack, then spend, then you get your big dagger throw ability. You just keep on going. We'll see that there. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to queue into a dungeon, and I'm going to show you the gameplay, and then we'll wrap up the video with closing thoughts. Alright, here we are in the Undercroft, and I believe I'm in Sphere 2, so let's go take a look here and see what happens. One thing I do want to mention that I hope Wayfinder changes is that when it comes to zoning into a dungeon where people are already here, it would teleport you to those people. You know, pick one, even if it's the farthest one away or the closest. Just because I've seen a lot of things. Well, I've lost a lot of people, and to people not knowing where to go and stuff like that. Luckily, I can see on my map where they are, and having run this dungeon a couple of times, I basically know where I need to go. So, looks like they're fighting something down here. They're fighting for a Tracer event. That's not a big deal. Let's... Oh, okay. I guess I just completed that. Nice. Thank you, guys. It's really nice of you to do that for me. Cloak save. Ooh, nice. Codex save. So, we should get... Let's see. 17 and 9, so I think we should be fine. That, as you can see, Niss, with the dual daggers, does a lot of flourishing attacks, as said earlier. So, let's go through here and get to the actual combat part of this. Which is kind of there is poison, so we need to be careful. Since we don't really have anything that heals. Those memory fragments. Now, remember, you're going to get a lot of memory fragments. Don't worry about that. Grab them when you see them if you want them. Otherwise, it's not really all that important. Eventually, you will probably need a bunch more, but by the time you get there, the average one you'll pick up will be a lot more, so it's okay. And luckily, we have our good friends over here. Do an Archstone. Give items. No. Alright, the event has started. Let's go. I just didn't know if this actually... Oh, hello. Wow, that Archon Elite is no joke. There we go. And we're good. Nice. Easy. We've got some imbuements, got some stuff. Simple enough. And hopefully, we can end up having enough of the... Hopefully, I'll have enough time to actually show off the ultimate ability. It's right now about halfway there, and it seems like this group is really tearing through this dungeon. Granted, it is a very high damage group, and with that person wielding a firearm, they just absolutely take care of all the poison. Seriously. No problem. No problem with poison. At all. It is damage. The umbral. And we're just gonna try to survive. Because, again, unlike Windgrave, I don't have passive healing, but I also do way more damage than Windgrave. So, take that for what it's worth. There's that big flourish. Makes me immune for a little while, and that's built into survivability. Points, and the foes grow stronger. Hey, look at that. Slicer and Dicer have leveled up. Fantastic. So a little bit more echo. I still haven't really figured out how to target echoes yet. I mean, I just get what I can and upgrade them as I can. You know, we're looking for... eventually, after the early access, I'm sure we'll have stat priorities. And then when that happens, I'll have videos on the stat priorities. Probably one for either every character, or maybe one video just like, hey, these are the stats you want to target for Windgrave, or Niss, or Heroes, or Senja, or Silo. Ooh, let's get out of that. Standing in 3 overlaps seems like a bad idea. See, and right there, just I'm underpowered for this instance. I'm like 261 rating under, and if I hit a standard enemy with that, it's a wrap. Okay, let's just do this. Ultimate, and now I should just be able to do that. As you can see, I'm just infinitely shadow stepping, avoiding all the attacks, harming, and while it's going, it's still kept recharging my stuff. That. He's got fun stuff. fun, no problem, right? And that is Niss. That's the combat for Niss, right? Assassin, dodge, stab, look good doing it, take no questions, all types of stuff. So, here's what I'm going to say about that, right? If you want to be an assassin-type character, Niss is great. There is a smuggler, you know, charismatic, dashing rogue character, and that's Silo. We'll do a video on Silo a little later. But keep in mind that if you like the sneaky assassin and the darkness thing, Niss is for you. So, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, go on, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. You know, helps out on the algorithm. And may the drop you're farming drop on the first run of the instance. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.